Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is D-Wall, the founder of the Destiny Championship Alliance. And yes, this is another out of character news update. And this is something that you guys, I think, are really going to enjoy. Now, as you know, what I've been trying to do for the past couple of months, and actually the past couple of years, is work with other call promotions to kind of get their name out there, get DCA's name out there, and to try and build a working relationship with all of these different leagues. And I guess that's where the name Destiny Championship Alliance comes in, because it's DCA, in my opinion, is becomes sort of an alliance of all these different promotions. No matter what you've done, no matter if you're fantasy, original, whatever, to come in to openly come in, show off your talent, show off the kind of show that you put on, and maybe introduce you to a whole different audience that may not know anything about what you do and the work you put in, and to get that appreciation for that. I mean, CCL's done it, even though they have their fan base. We worked with CCL. I worked with CCL and Eddie, and we've had a great partnership ever since then. I've brought in ZCW, which is the highest club of wrestling. I brought in the Universal Championship Wrestling League and VPOC, and you see them working on commentary now, and you guys see some of their stars in DCA now, and just all that working relationship going on there is something that I'm very happy to have been able to do over the last couple of years. And I think one of the driving forces behind that, and one of the biggest driving forces behind the partnership of all these different promotions and all these different leagues, has been and has always been Queens of Wrestling. And this is something that's very near and dear to my heart, is trying to make women's virtual wrestling so much better than it was. You hear people like Matos talk about how SEA and leagues like that back in the day actually started this virtual wrestling for women thing, and how all virtual wrestling women's leagues started with SEA, VWF, all that stuff. And I think that with the rise of DCA Wildcats and ACW's Anime Championship Wrestling's league and their women's division when they had it, and things like that, in CCL's Bombshells division, and just really setting the bar high, and I don't want to say that it was all me, because it wasn't. I don't like to take credit for everything that Wildcats has done to kind of push that movement that, yes, you should take women's virtual wrestling seriously. But the reason I started Queens of Wrestling in the first place was because of that. It was because I felt like I could do something to make that better, to push other leagues to push their women's virtual wrestling divisions to the forefront and make it just as important as the guys, because as I was working in WEDF as a commentator, and they didn't have a women's division, and back in the day, women's divisions weren't really all that wanted, because it's like, it was back during that era where in reality women's wrestling wasn't taken seriously enough, and there were 3-4 minute bathroom break matches and nobody cared about it and things like that. So I wanted to change that. I said, okay, why aren't the women's virtual wrestling that much better? So even when I started DCA, I wanted to make the women's division a very, very high priority, and I tried to do that more and more. And as the time grew on, and as things kept moving and progressing in DCA, and as the quality changed, and as the women's the wrestlers changed and the way they look changed and things like that, I wanted to make it a point that, hey, you should take our women's division a whole lot more seriously. You should take it a whole lot more than you have in the past. And I think that now where it is, as Wildcats has grown into something more than I ever thought it could grow into. And I like that. And I like the fact that I've been able to help push these other promotions to build their leagues, build their women's divisions, build their women's roster, show that the women are just as important as the guys. And that's something that's not based on just a reality-based aspect, but just of something that's a passion that I have and a passion that I wanted to see happen. So Queens of Wrestling really was the driving force of that. The first one was a very successful one. The second one just as much. And I said to myself, I want to make the third one that much bigger, that much better. And I believe, and I think, I know in my heart that Queens of Wrestling 3 is going to be the biggest Queens of Wrestling ever. And I'm going to tell you why. Back a few months ago, I posted a picture on the DCA Facebook page that said, who will claim the throne? Right? Who will claim the throne? What does that mean? Who will claim the throne? Well, I'm happy to announce that at Queens of Wrestling 3, we will be crowning a very first ever Queens of Wrestling champion. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Queens of Wrestling Championship will be decided on Queens of Wrestling 3, the week of Revelations 3, and it's going to be unbelievable. And on top of that, who's going to be in it? I'm about to tell you. Right now, there is going to be, starting in July, a 12-league, 60-women tournament, round-robin style, to determine who will be the first Queens of Wrestling champion. And here is how it's going to work. Here are the rules for this entire tournament. The first portion is going to be round robin with 12 blocks and 5 women in each block, deciding on who's going to move on to a single elimination tournament. The 2 highest scorers in your block for your league will advance to the single elimination. And here is how the points system works. Here's how the round robin format will work. The points are awarded based on the type of victory. There will be 5 points for a pinfall, 4 for a submission, 3 points for a draw, 2 points for a countout, and 1 point for a DQ, and obviously no points for a loss. 2 points will be deducted for a countout loss, and 4 will be deducted for a disqualification loss. And I've worked it out in my head. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. You'll have 10 matches, 5 people for each block, and for everyone to go through and face each opponent in that block at least one time, it's going to be 10 matches. So I'm going to try not to talk so much and so fast now. So 5 women for each block. There'll be 12 leagues involved, and for everyone to face each other at least once, be 10 matches. You have 3 months. You have July, you have August, and you have at least the first 2 to 3 weeks of September to do your 10 matches for the round robin portion. And also, just a little note, use challenge.com to record the tournament round robin portion. Okay, just so that I know and so you guys know, and it's a lot easier to determine the point system and things like that. I have all the listings of the rules, and I have all the listings of the links you need to know down in the comments of this video, so you guys are aware and you understand the complete rules of this tournament. Now, before everybody starts messaging me like they did for the Pure Championship tournament, and they keep asking me over and over, who's in it, who's in it, who's in it, can I be in it, can I be in it, I can't do that. I can't take all those messages at one time. I'm a very busy person. I do more than DCA. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just putting that out right now that I just can't take all those messages at one time. Okay? So here's how I'm going to make it easier. I have already decided on 12 leagues, including DCA, that's going to be a part of this tournament. Okay? I will message you not only will I message you about that, but also when I do message you, let me know which 5 women you will want to be in this tournament. Okay, you have to have 5 women, preferably 5 of your best women, to be in this tournament. Okay, after that, it's up to you guys to record the 10 matches for the round robin portion of the tournament. When it gets down to the 2 highest scorers in your block, I will need them. So you'll have to upload them to Community Creations, of course, and I will upload them. And just like the Pure Championship tournament has been, it's going to be AI versus AI. There's going to be no bias. There's going to be nothing like that. Every person will have an equal chance of winning this tournament and winning the championship going on into Queens of Wrestling 3, where the semifinals and the finals will take place at Queens of Wrestling. And remember, like I said, and I'm going to say this one more time so you guys understand completely, there's going to be 12 leagues, including DCA, so 11 other outside leagues will be competing in this. There will be 60 women in total when you get all 12 leagues involved, and it's going to be round robin for the first portion, and then at the middle of September, because that's when the deadline hits for the round robin, there will be a 1 month, 24 women single elimination tournament to decide who will be the first Queens of Wrestling champion, and the semifinals and the finals will take place at Queens of Wrestling 3. Okay, there may be more leagues involved. It may be more than 12 leagues. I don't know. It just depends on what we can work out. But as of right now, as of the recording of this video, there is 12 leagues involved. There will be 12 leagues in all. So be ready. Be looking out for those messages from me. I will let you guys know as soon as possible so you can get started right away. And these matches, and one more thing, these matches can be recorded on your normal shows, like say in the case of, let's say I message CCL. It'll be, if you want to record the matches on Adrenaline, on Pulse, or on a mega event, or a web match, whatever. As long as you get your 10 matches done in that allotted time, and you get your 2 representatives in that 2.5 month period, or give or take 2.5 months, then great, perfect, that's fine. And then after that, smooth sailing from there. Now, about the rest of the Queens of Wrestling card. This year, Queens of Wrestling 3 will be about dream matches. Okay, what are the dream matches that you have always wanted to see in women's virtual wrestling? We are going to provide that for you this year. It's not just going to be, say, CCL doing a match and DCA doing a match and this league and this league and this league doing a match. It's going to be what would happen if this person faced off against this person. What would happen if we finally got these 2 women in the ring for the very first time? That is what this event, Queens of Wrestling 3, is going to be all about. Still about showcasing your Premier League, but also showing off that dream match you've always wanted to do. So, I've already got some good suggestions from people in the comments, but there will be an official Queens of Wrestling dream match card. There's going to be an official Queens of Wrestling request thread, or whatever it's called, whatever you want to call it, coming out real soon, and that is where you will officially be able to list all the dream matches. I don't care if it's 50, I don't care if it's 100, however many dream matches you've always wanted to do, post them in that link. That'll be where it's officially going to count. Okay, that's where it's officially going to count for me to decide and pick through and decide which matches will be the best ones for this card, because I want to make it the biggest Queens of Wrestling ever. Bar none, hands down, period. The biggest Queens of Wrestling event of all time. And we could still do, matches from other leagues. It could be CCW doing a league. It could be CCL doing a match. We could have, all these leagues doing a match, and maybe another title match here, and a 6-woman tag there, or something like that. It could be something like that, but it's going to be a huge, huge night, and something I'm going to be very proud of, and something I hope you guys are excited about, to actually have this match, this card happen, because this is going to be the next step. This is going to be the next step to actually having women's wrestling on the map. We already have, and I'm very proud to have Call All Stars as, doing the Call All Stars Women's Championship. But I'm also putting in I'm putting my name in the hat, and I'm going to put in my, stamp on women's virtual wrestling, because you have Call All Stars and they have it for all these leagues. I'm doing this for women's rosters, women's leagues. So, not to step on their toes. I just want to point this out for those that may think that this is going to step on the Call All Stars Women's Championships toes. I've done a lot to help Sean build that division and help him with Call All Stars, and I'm proud to do that. And I'm hoping that he can help me with Queens of Wrestling too. Anybody that wants to help me with Queens of Wrestling, I see it as my call all stars. I see Queens of Wrestling as my call all stars, something that, you know, can bring all these leagues together and bring them into the forefront and let people see exactly what these other leagues can do and what they bring to the table. So I want to be able to do that and bring all these bring the community back together, and with no ego, with no biasm, with none of that stuff, and just keep on with the tradition of making this about having fun and escaping what's real in the world today, and just having fun with friends, sharing laughs together, you know, sharing exciting moments together, creating something great together, you know? So that's what this is all about in the end. Not just for me, not just for you, but everybody. And I hope, and I really do hope that all of this, Queens of Wrestling, Call All Stars, all these leagues, everybody in virtual wrestling can come together, and I hope that I can be just a small piece of making that happen for everybody. So again, thank you guys so much for listening. We're close. We got 6 subscribers away from 500 subscribers on the DCA channel, and I am planning something for that. So as soon as we hit 500 subscribers, I'll let you guys know what I have planned for the 500 subscribers thing, for the milestone if we hit it. So get DCA's name out there, man. We got 6 more subscribers. We got to get 500 subscribers. So again, thank you guys so much. I just want to pass this note along to you about Queens of Wrestling. It's going to be a big show, guys, and be on the lookout for those messages, because it's going to come and it's going to happen. Queens of Wrestling Championship. It's going to happen for the first time ever, and I can't wait for it, man. So thank you guys, and hope you enjoy the rest of, just I hope you enjoy everything. You know, I've been putting the work in. You know, everybody knows it's me. Don't worry. Everybody knows it's D-Wall doing all this shit. So, but again, you know, thank you guys for watching DCA, man. Thank you guys for enjoying Redemption. There was a lot of feedback after Redemption, and I didn't expect it to get as much as it did, but that just shows that you guys are appreciative of the work I put in, and just the growth that I've had in the last 4 years, and I'm grateful for all of it, man. Everybody that's been attributed to DCA, everybody that helps me book matches, everybody that, you know, helps me with my shows. And I said this for the 4-year anniversary, but I'm going to say it again right now, since I'm thinking about it real quick, and I didn't take you guys' time up too much longer. But, you know, just thank you guys for letting me do this hobby that I do. Whether I come in after work and I want to sit down and record a few matches, whether I'm on a day off and the only thing I do is sit in my dark room all day and record match after match and scene after scene and putting the videos together and wrestling with my computer that works when it wants to and things like that. Just all of it, man. Thank you to each and every person that's listening to this. And even if you know somebody that's been a part of DCA, let them know I'm grateful, and let them know that I'm thankful for what they've done to help my matches get better, to help my cause look better, to help my presentation and the editing and everything look so much better than it did when I started. If you've ever had a hand in making DCA what it is now, if you've ever had a hand, whether we've had good times or bad times, whether we've had arguments and fights or whether we've gotten along great, thank you. And let them know I said thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, this shit is something that takes me away from all the things that's going on in my life, and that's what, like I said, that's what college is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about making friends. It's supposed to be about having fun. It's supposed to be about an escape. And if I have a small hand in bringing all these leagues together and getting it back to what this is supposed to be, instead of making it about, you know, ego and whatever, then I'm going to be as grateful as all hell that I could be a part of that. So thank you, and I hope that I've made something of DCA to make it entertaining, funny, exciting, and just an all-around great experience for everybody. Thank you guys. And I hope to talk to you guys again soon with the announcement of the 500 subscriber special. So, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for making DCA what it is. And I'll talk to you guys next time.